Welcome back to another video with Mash Tech Tutoring. Today we are continuing the trigonometry basics. So we're going to be looking at your special angles today. Namely, these are 45, 30, 60, 0, and 90. Okay. So suppose you have a right angle triangle, in which case two sides are the same, which is 1 and 1, and you have h, hypotenuse h. To determine the value of these two unknown angles, you have a total of all angles in a triangle, which is 180 minus 90. It gives you 90 divided by 2. It then gives you a value for each one of these unknown angles, which is 45. Okay? To play around with the trig ratios, now you need to determine the value of h. You can use Pythagoras Theorem. So you have h squared is equals to 1 squared plus 1 squared. Therefore, gives you h is equals to a root of 2. Okay. Well, another way of determining the value of h, one can actually use the trig ratio. In this case, we can use a sine 45, which is opposite over hypotenuse, that is 1 over h. Okay. To determine the value of h, you can use your calculator and you will arrive at h is equals to a root of 2. Now that you've defined your right angle triangle, you're able to play around with the sine, cos, and tan of 45. So sine 45 is opposite over hypotenuse, which is 1 over root 2, and cos 45 is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is 1 over root of 2. Okay, we do the same for tan. In this case, tan 45 is opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over 1. That is equals to 1. Okay, so we are done with special angle 45. Let's now look at special angle 30 and special angle 60. Okay, so imagine an isosceles triangle, right? Which is a triangle that has all the angles equal, which is 60, 60, and 60. And because the angles are the same, therefore the sides are also the same. Let's name them 2 units. Okay. So to play around with it, let's say if you cut this triangle right here, and you can name the height here as t. This side then becomes 1. That angle over there is half of 60, which is 30. And then you have a 90 degrees, which makes it your triangle on the left is your right angle triangle. Okay. I need to determine the value of t, which let's use the theorem of Pythagoras. Your hypotenuse is 2, therefore you have 2 squared is equals to 1 squared plus t squared. Okay. Therefore you have t squared is equals to 2 squared minus 1 squared. So if you determine the value of t, you find that its t is equals to a root of 3. Okay. Now that you've defined your triangle, you're able to play around with your trigonometry ratios. Okay. Now you can do the sine, cos, and tan of 30 and also that of 60, but let's focus on the trig ratios of 30. So for sine 30, you're looking at opposite over hypotenuse, which is it has to be 1 over 2. And for cos of 30, it's adjacent over hypotenuse, which is root of 3 over 2. And for tan of 30 is opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over root 3. Okay, now again, you can use the same triangle to get the special angle ratios of 60. So sine of 60 is opposite over hypotenuse, which is here root of 3 over 2. Cos of 60 is adjacent over hypotenuse, that's 1 over 2. Tan of 60 is opposite over adjacent, which is root of 3 over 1. That gives us root of 3.